Hey guys, so we're going to talk about... Oh, by the way, this is part 2 to the Truth video that went up on his channel where we are talking about Vegito Blue versus Vegito Blue. We're talking about Dokkan versus Legends here. This is going to be more based around Legends. On Truth's channel, he talked more about Dokkan. We had a discussion over there. So, yeah, you've had a chance to use Vegito Blue, right? What do you think?
I've been blown away. I mean, again, one of the big things about Vegito Blue to me that makes him so impressive is they made it in a way where he is not only either the best unit in the game or, you know, right there with Zenkai 7 units, but he's also incredibly easy to use even for people who are inexperienced with the game. Now, I have played Legends before a lot, but like, you know, I'm getting back into it. So, you know, you're a little rusty, you know, like things move very fast. You know, I'm not really able to do like the charge step and sort of like, you know, a lot of the advanced techniques that you want to be able to perform that makes a unit like the LF Blue Vegeta super crazy, right? So this ability they gave Vegito Blue to draw an extra strike card makes him so friendly for players who are starting during the anniversary and makes him good for, you know, like veterans and very skilled players, and then also completely fresh, like new players who have never played at all.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit on your part, but that ability that he gets, which I've highlighted right now, this basically, I would say, is probably like a top 5, top 3, maybe top 2, like portion of a unique in a game. And by the way, this isn't even the full unique. Like this by itself could easily be its own unique ability. It's like a third of the unique ability right here.
Yeah, just like sandwiched in between like other crazy stuff.
Yeah. But we see a lot of the top units in the game. I'm actually just going to go open the character list right now. I think Zamasu gets card draw speed. Let me just make sure. I think he does. Yeah, he does after 30 counts elapsed. So Zamasu, card draw speed. Like Kefla gets card draw speed. Vegeta gets card draw speed. I think Rose does as well. Like all these good units in the game, all the best units are getting card draw speed because a melee-based unit in this day and age, you really need that to get the full use out of your combos. Vegito doesn't have card draw speed. The only reason he can get card draw speed is if he's fighting a support type unit, which is not going to be super often because you're not going to want to switch in a support type unit to this guy because they're just going to instantly die. But the thing is, he doesn't need card draw speed because he has this unique down here. And that alone, like, we're not going to see this on any other unit, I don't think, unless, you know, we get to the point where power creep is just like out of control. But I don't, like, I saw this and I literally, like, in my breakdown video, I could not literally, I literally couldn't even believe what I was looking at when I saw that. It was like, what is this?
What's interesting about it too is they could have made it like, I guess, like sort of like fair if it would activate twice and that's it, right? But then they allowed it to reset when you switch him, which is what, you know, so he comes in and it's just death. Something is dying in front of him if he gets a hit, right?
Yeah, pretty, like, literally. You could even throw this guy into, like, battle, and if the enemy's running something like Kefla will get crushed. Like, Vegeta Blue can just come in and, like, destroy Kefla. Like, Kefla, I mean, green unit, she's not the worst defensive unit ever. Any green unit with like cover cut, like even if you switch in somebody like this Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku, who's green, he's a very defensive unit. He has cover cut. Vegito Blue draws a green card when he switches in for the first time. By the way, his green card removes all buffs on the enemy. So this guy comes in for cover cut. You can just remove that with his green card. You can remove his cover cut because that is a buff. So is there? I don't even think there's a single unit in the game that can like for sure like stop this guy. Because even somebody like Full Power Bojack, where he's right here, Full Power Bojack has the only, I guess they call it special cover change in the game that basically works against everything except for Rising Rush. So you're like, okay, well if Vegito goes for like attack or something, I'll just switch into Bojack.
So okay, real quick, against the Rising Rush, what happens? Bojack just gets Rising Rushed?
Yeah, Bojack just eats the rush.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go with Vegito and you're like, okay, I think Bojack's coming in. His ultimate has the only nullify special actions in the game. Like this we've never seen this before, ever. This is the first time ever. Nullifies enemies' special actions that can activate when changing cover. So Bojack comes in, you're like, okay, well, I'll just, I'll knock him out to Bojack. Well, guess what? No, because this guy literally has the only nullify special actions in the game. Plus, this is supreme damage, which is the only ultimate in the game that has that supreme damage modifier on it. So Bojack's gonna die.
The thing, like, okay, so this 2-year anniversary introducing like a new sort of multiplier, that reminds me of Dokkan's 1-year anniversary, right? There's Super Gogeta, who introduced Immense into the game, right? Well, at least on JP. On Global, they brought out Full Power Frieza first, but like really, Gogeta was the first one to have it, right? So. Yeah.
That is kind of similar. And like Gogeta, when he released in Dokkan, it was like also there was no one even in the same 4 tiers as him. Like you made a tier list back then. He was like 4 tiers above the next best unit. Like there was multiple tiers.
It's like you go through every facet, he was the best, and like he was the leader skill. Like he is the one. Like there's no other unit that had anything like what he had. Right? Like it was insane.
Yeah. I don't think Vegito Blue is that good compared to that Gogeta, because that's like we're never going to see that again in any game because they made a mistake. But when comparing this guy to the Dokkan Vegito Blue, who came out for the 5th year anniversary on JP, he's coming out on Global in like a month-ish from now. Again, it's very hard to compare across games because they're just they're different games, there's different modes, there's different a lot of things. So I think the best way to sort of do this is we take a look at Vegito Blue in Legends, we take a look at Vegito Blue in Dokkan, and we sort of compare them to other units that are the best. And we think about, okay, well, this guy compared to the second best unit in the game, how big of a difference is there? Or, like, even maybe they're not even the best units in their own games, and be like, okay, well, where does he fall in that hierarchy? So for Legends, I did talk about this on Truth's part, so I'm not going to go spend too much time on this, but I think the only units who can really compare with Vegito Blue, just outright, are Zenkai 7 units, specifically Beerus and Cooler. Boo is also in the discussion because Boo is just Zenkai 7 Boo is pretty much the only unit in the game, I would say, that can completely shut down Vegito Blue. So that gives him a lot of room.
Because Zenkai 7, like when he comes in, he locks, right? So like he can.
Yeah, he locks. So he locks you in for I think it's 5 counts, and then he seals all strike cards, which is what this guy's doing. He's only strike carding basically. Okay. So Zenkai 7 Boo, honestly, now that I think about it, Zenkai 7 Boo could actually just become like the best unit because of that alone.
Because he's a direct counter to like what is the other best unit, yeah.
Yeah. So we might see a lot, because I theorized this before the banners actually dropped and the anniversary dropped. I was like, don't be surprised if Zenkai 7 Boo or Zenkai Boo's banners returns. Like, because everyone's going to try and get him up there because he's like the counter to Vegito.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Beerus's banner goes away in the middle of June, and they're probably going to replace that with Boo's.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised. So I think I would actually slide Boo up there as well now, just based on the fact that everybody's goal is to counter this Vegito. So when you compare him to those units, I mean, the fact that you are basing your team around countering Vegito, and you're not basing your team around countering any of those other 3 units actively, is enough for me to say that I think Vegito is better.
I like that, yeah. Because as good as the other ones are, it's not like, okay, they got Cooler, I got to make sure I got a green unit, right? Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you want to have like 1 purple to counter Boo and Beerus, and then like 1, I guess, green to counter Vegito and Cooler, right?
Yep.
So, again, I would say that I think Vegito is going to edge out those Zenkai 7 units, but the fact that he's even like in the discussion with them is kind of crazy. I don't ever think we had that before in this game. Like, Zenkai 7 was sort of its own world up until now.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think the fact that Zenkai 7 exists in the game made them sort of like put this guy over and above what we were expecting.
Okay, if you look at it, right, like if we look at it from a Dokkan perspective, I would say that every single anniversary introduced the best unit in the game, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Anniversary 1 was Gogeta. Now, Anniversary 2 was Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. What's crazy is they were actually replaced like 2 weeks later by LR Gohan. Right? But,
yeah.
At the time, it was impossible to get him. So, like, it's like, yeah, he is the best, but actually no one's got him. Because you have like his rate was like way worse than what Legends limited rates are right now. Back when Dokkan used to do that.
Yeah, that
Right?
because that was unfeatured on the Rising Dragon Carnival.
Yeah. So
Oh man, I have horror
No, you're
stories.
it was a double rates banner. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But unfeatured doesn't matter. Yeah, that was stupid. But yeah, I think you're right with the anniversary. They introduced the best units in the game every single time. And then the same thing with Legends too, because Legends, the first year, I mean, they released Super Vegito. He was the best unit.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, they introduce these Zenkai units, and then they must have realized, like, oh, well, damn, we got anniversary coming up. We do have to make sure he is actually the king. So,
Yeah.
And they had to turn it all the way up to make sure that happened.
Yeah, that's my point too, because like, if they didn't have these Zenkai units in the game, then like, yeah, Vegito Blue would probably still be the best unit in the game, but that level of power he would have to reach to be the best unit would be way lower. So it's like, is that good for the game? Probably not, because again, he's so hard to get. 0.25% for Legends Limited. For an average player, you're not going to pull him. Like that's just the reality of it. That's not to say the other units on the banner aren't good, because Merge Zamasu, arguably a top 3 unit in the game. Trunks, very, very good unit. Probably one of the only units who has a decent chance of actually, defending against Vegito Blue while not being green.
Well, at least until Vegito busts out that green card.
Yeah. And then the Goku, like Goku can annihilate Vegito. Like if you get going with him and you get him caught in a combo, like you can roll him with Goku.
Doesn't Vegito like pull a special arts card though or something when he comes in?
Yeah, so the first time he switches in, he will draw a green card. Now it's only it only activates once, and the only problem with that is if you lead with Vegito, the green card will be like sort of like next, like the card that you're going to draw next. It'll be like on the side, sort of. Now if you use a strike card, that will get replaced by a strike card. So it's kind of like counterintuitive to lead with him, because you're not going to be able to make use of that green card unless you have a blast, and you use a blast, which is not really what he wants to be doing. So that's like the one flaw I would say with him, is that if you lead with him, which you kind of do want to do because Blast Armor makes it so easy to get priority very fast, like you're not going to be able to make use of that green card very easily, because you have to you basically have to waste a strike card in your hand to draw that, right? So that's sort of a negative, but that's not really I mean, wasting a green card because you're killing the enemy is not that big of a negative. But yeah, I think Goku is also really good. And then I think Omega, the only thing with Omega, right? Omega is insane. But the problem is that Vegito, like, invalidates the red color. Like, if you're red, you're instantly at a disadvantage because of Vegito.
Yep.
So, I mean, Omega is certainly good. I would have liked...
That was intentional, right? Like, they built Omega's kit, right? With his, so he, like, does, like, bleed and paralyze and all this annoying shit. And then he also has that like nuke of his that hits the whole enemy team. I mean, that has to be them realizing, okay, one of the big anniversary units is like dead on sight with Vegito around. So they gave him like a couple of abilities that will allow him to still be good. Because even his green card, right, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would say that his ult is. I would say
that could Vegito from coming in to destroy him too. Yeah.
So there's two things with Omega. The first thing is his ultimate. It's really hard to say it's better than Vegito's ultimate, just because Vegito's ultimate is literally like it's an atomic bomb basically.
Yeah.
Omega's is like 3 atomic bombs, because he AoEs the enemy team, and it's directly comparable to Green Gold and Frieza's ult, because Green Gold and Frieza has the first, I think it was massive damage AoE. Omega Shenron has that, but then he also gets 50% increased damage on his ult. And he has a much bigger just base damage buff if you have a lot of Dragon Balls. I have had matches with Omega Shenron where he's completely just decimated entire teams with his one ult. So I would say he has the best ult in the game. I would say it's probably better than Vegito's, just because of the fact that he's overall dealing more damage because of that AoE effect. And then his green card, like, you guys probably know at this point, I despise Yellow Gohan because of that green card. I don't know where he is on here. Oh, he's right here. I just hate that green card. Omega's is worse because Omega locks you in if he hits you with it. I don't even think, does he even have to hit you with it? I think it's just on activation. Let me just see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on activation.
Yeah, no, it's on hit. It's on. No, wait, is it? No. Okay, so okay, the no switching is on activation, but then the plus 20% to damage received debuff is on hit because for some reason he also needed that second part of that green card for who knows why.
It's already the best green card before that, right? Like,
pretty much, yeah. I don't know. Like, they really went out of their way to make him like just stupid, just because of the fact that he's red. Mm-hmm. The only thing I would say is I would have liked to see a nullify element factor on Omega, like because Rose has that. Rose, I think it's 30 counts with his main ability. Let me just see. Yeah, nullifies own unfavorable element factor for 30 timer counts on Rose's main ability. If Omega Shenron had that, he would instantly jump to like a top 5 unit, top 3 unit maybe. Yeah. Just because of the fact that he wouldn't have to get one shot by Vegito Blue. I mean, Vegito Blue would still be destroying him because type neutral is not going to save you. But it's, I don't know. Omega just kind of being red is kind of like, okay, well, he's kind of screwed. But I don't know. Like, I think we've sort of explained my thoughts on Vegito Blue in Legends, and in Dokkan, I don't think you can really say the same thing about that Vegito Blue, even though he's still insane, right? He's still in like at least a top 3 unit in Dokkan.
Yeah.
I don't think you can sort of put him on the same pedestal as the Legends variant.
Yeah, I mean, if Vegito hadn't released alongside a companion unit in Gogeta Blue, there would be more of a case for Dokkan, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Like, could Legends sort of like stealthily shadow drop like LF Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? I mean, they could. They're probably not going to, right? But like, that could be something they could do because Dokkan did 2 LRs, but like Gogeta's presence, like, it's like you can't separate them, right? Like, in some aspects, Gogeta will look better. In some aspects, Vegito will look better. Whereas, like, Blue Vegito doesn't have competition, really. And then even furthermore, now it's been several months since Dokkan's anniversary, and they've dropped an entirely new unit who is not only on that same level, but I think he's a little bit better than the Blue Fusions in LR UI Goku, right? So, like, these other 2 units that sort of take away a little bit of the shine or luster that Vegito Blue would have if he was the only one of the 3 to exist in the game. Whereas, we'll look at it from Legends. If we're 4 months down the line, maybe there's some new LF insane green unit who it's like, okay, he brings Vegito down a peg. Maybe he's a direct counter to Vegito, right? He has some ability that messes with Vegito's kit or something. The further away we get from it, like, the less just only Vegito matters in Legends we'll get to. But right now, on the heels of him just releasing, his effect on the Legends, it's just like Dokkan. Like, there's no way you could say that Dokkan Vegito has anything close to the effect that the Legends one does right now.
Yeah, and we could sort of take a look back at the Super Vegito from last year, because again, I think he was pretty much the undisputed best unit in the game at that point. Where is he? Let me see if I can find him here. But down here. This guy, when he released during the first year anniversary, I think most people would agree that he was the best unit in the game. Number 2, like, who even was number? I'm trying to even remember.
Would it be Blue Goku?
Well, he wasn't even out yet because he came out after the anniversary.
No, the Super Saiyan Blue Goku came out with Vegeta.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, I thought you meant the LF one. Yeah, he's up there. He was up there. I mean, a lot of the anniversary units were insane. Like, Golden Frieza was really good, but the fact that Golden Frieza, his team was not very good. Like, LOE was not very good back then. It wasn't.
Until they got Power Frieza, right?
Yeah, it wasn't until they got full Power Frieza where that team really jumped up a lot. Yeah, I mean, this guy was the best unit in the game easily during the first year anniversary, and then it's like we got to the next step up, and they released Namek Goku, and I think Namek Goku probably was better for a little bit until people really started to figure out how he worked and being able to counter him. But I don't like. Again, I think we talked about this earlier, but the fact that they made this guy like as good, if not better, than like the top Zenkai 7 units in the game. Like, they can't continue that. Like, they can't just keep doing that. They can't just keep making it better than those Zenkai 7 units, because then, like, every other unit becomes invalid if they just keep doing that, right?
They definitely, like, they can't make a unit that approaches Vegito's level for a while, right? Like, I would say, ideally, for Legends, you probably wouldn't want to make another unit as good as him until, I don't know, maybe like New Year's or something is usually like a huge celebration time in these like gacha games. So like maybe, last year they dropped the Super Saiyan 4s. Maybe that's when they do UI Sign Goku. And then he's similar to Vegito Blue, right? But
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a while until that happens. So.
Yeah, and then something else to just mention real fast too is that I think the power creep in Legends is more, I don't want to say justified, but I think it's more inevitable than Dokkan because of the fact that it's PvP and people are really incentivized to summon for units that are just better. Whereas in Dokkan, it's like, okay, well, if you like the unit, just summon. Who cares if it's better or not? Like every event in the game can be beaten by like most like decent teams. Whereas in Legends, it's like you want to be running the best teams because otherwise you're just going to lose, and that's not fun.
Absolutely.
So the power creep for this guy is like we've never seen before. Like even first year, like Super Vegeta was the best unit, but it wasn't to the same degree as the jump until the jump up to this guy. Like this guy is like I don't even want to think about New Year's. I don't know. But yeah, for Dokkan, I would say that this guy's definitely like he's insane, but he's not such a jump up in power creep to the point where it's like I don't want to see another unit as good as him for a long time, right? So that's where kind of I think is a good place to end. I don't know if you want to expand on that at all or have anything to add to that.
Yeah, it's just like really like I think when LR UI Goku came out and like he's just like on that same level as like an anniversary unit, and it's been 5 months since they came out. It just shows that there is going to be a grace period for these best units in the game for quite a while, but eventually they will be replaced, right? So like Vegito is going to get that counter, but probably not for a bit. So he'll remain king for a while, and his impact on Legends is definitely far better than what Dokkan's Vegito Blue has got over there.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So in conclusion, Legends Vegito is broken. If you pulled him, congratulations, you win. We'll see you again next year when the next best unit in the game releases. But yeah, appreciate you coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And link to part 1 again will be in the description below, so make sure you check that out as well. We talked more about Dokkan over there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you all in the next one.